gentlemen of the internet, fellow YouTubers, and me-tubers, we-tubers, going on our walk. Still daylight. Obviously, you can see that. And as it gets darker, we'll switch over to the other nighttime setting. Now, in last night's episode, we witnessed a deer out in the field, just laying out there. And I've been thinking about the deer, so I'm gonna see if it's still there. I hope it isn't, because if it is, it means it's been there since last night with no water and nothing. So I'm hoping it's been dealt with. I'm hoping the deer is gone. If the deer isn't gone, I guess I'll have to call the police, because we can't leave the deer out in the field to suffer like that. Don't know what else to do. So hopefully it was just resting for some reason and it's not there now. So we're gonna find out soon enough. So I am wearing my shorts that have pockets. It's still warm and humid. But I'm gonna walk, check up on the deer. Now, it was either a female deer or it was a young deer. Definitely was not a fawn, because it didn't have the white spots on the side. But nonetheless, it was not a good situation to see it out there in the field, just laying there, not getting up, and it didn't seem to be very alarmed with me there. So I'm hoping it was nothing. That's why I wanted to get there when there's still a little bit of daylight out, so we could see. And we'll see what happens. Like I said, hopefully nothing. So let's go take a look-see. See what we can see. And that's the thing when you have nature blending in with humanity. Because I think what might have happened is that deer might have got hit by a car, wounded its hip, maybe broke a leg, broke a hip. I don't know. I know deer in the wild are pretty resilient. If you've ever watched the Deer Pantry from Brownville, Maine, they got deer on there where one of the legs is all shriveled up from not being used from an injury from years ago. And there's other ones that have deformities. I've seen one where there was a big chunk of meat missing out of their back from being hit, and they healed up. You could see a dent or a depression in their back, but a couple of years now that deer has been coming by, so they can survive if they have a chance. Usually what happens when they're out in the wild and they get injured like that, then they get eaten by wolves or something. But we don't have those here. Not this far in town. So that poor thing would just sit there until it died without water or anything. And that's not very humane. So if that's the scenario, then calling the police and the police put it out of its misery, that'd be, you know, something different. Don't even know if the police would show up for something like that. I have no idea. It's on private property. It's not like a car hit it or anything. So we're going to see. I have been thinking about the deer though. Motorcycle. Thanks. Half a mile in 10 minutes. It's not really a great time. All right, so what are we going to see up around the corner here? What are we going to see? What? No, that's the other thing too is, you know, I have my EDC on me, but that's private property. Plus there's a city ordinance where you can't discharge firearm in city limits unless it's for self-defense or something. So if I shot that deer, I would get in trouble. More than likely. And they would probably be happy to do it. We got to show those gun owners they can't just go do that. So hopefully it's just not there. I imagine somebody would have seen it today. I would imagine. I'm going to feel really terrible if it's still there, because I'll have to stop recording video and I will call somebody, and then when they show up I'll start recording. And also have the camera mounted on my chest again, like a chest cam. Like a body camera, because that's what it is at the moment. Starting to get dark. All right, it's up around the corner here. What are we going to see? Is it going to be, well, I don't think it'll be a dead deer. A wounded deer? Crippled deer? dying deer or no deer. All right, we're almost there. We are almost there, folks. It's like the street sweepers went by finally. Yay! Look at this. They cleaned all this up. What do we see? I don't see anything here. It was right here. Oh, I see one deer out there. Look, there's a deer out there. See it? Yeah, it's a little baby one. That's the deer I saw last night. Why is it hanging around here? It's a young deer, look at it. Hey, baby. There it goes. Well, that makes me feel good. A lot of times what happens, that deer might be right in between being let go by mama. You know what I mean? Because that was a baby deer, I'm sure of that, but it doesn't have its white spots. Well, now I feel good. I'm glad I saw it. So that deer was just sitting there last night waiting for mama to come back. And I think that's another one of the cruelties of life, where the deer is big enough where mama has showed it what it has to do, and it left the deer. And this is a deer crossing here, so more deer will come through here, and that deer will be fine. Well, that makes me feel a lot better. Now I don't have to worry about it. So that deer was just sitting there in the field last night, waiting for somebody to come get it. And that deer came right out of the woods as soon as it saw me going by. I heard somebody out here, and it's coming out here to check if it's another deer. Which, plenty of deer go through right where that deer was, so it'll be fine. Well, that makes me feel damn good. Now I'm happy. Don't have to worry about the damn deer. So now I'll just walk and get my walk in. I'm already starting to sweat. It's very humid tonight. Thought we were going to have thunderstorms today. That's what it felt like. But not yet. So over here we have that chicken coop, and we got a garden of stuff here growing. Nice little spot for a garden. All right, well, geez, that made me feel good to see that deer running like that. No injuries. I think it just got separated from its group it was in, or a mama set it free on its way, and it's like it's sitting there for mama to come back. And they'll come back, because that's not uncommon, especially when they're small little baby deer. The mama will sometimes leave them by themselves where they have to go off and do something. And the deer just kind of knows to stick around. So a lot of times if you see a baby deer with the white spots on the side by itself out in the woods, you're better off just leaving it there and not picking it up in your car, thinking you're helping, because you're not. Sometimes it's better just to leave things alone. And so, very happy to see that deer, and it is a young one. So, all's good with the world. They'll figure it out. They will figure it out. Well, hot diggity. That's pretty awesome. So anyways, like I was saying, every time you go on walks, there's always something different going on. Probably applies to anywhere, really. If you're walking in the city, or, you know, there's always things to see. I saw one video clip of Seattle this week. Oh my God. I have no idea what they have done. These liberal policies. This guy stopped in a gas station to buy something to drink, and this woman comes in with a freaking thong, look like thong panty or something. These pink panties with lace on them, and she's got this top where I'm really shocked that her boobs actually found a way to stay in them. And overweight, look like a drug addict, something. I think she's out there prostituting or something. And this guy said something to her, and she was like, blah, blah, blah. She starts yakking at him back. And she's wearing these really crazy kind of like chunky heels. They're tall heels. She doesn't even look good. It's not even a good matching outfit. She's obviously got a drug problem, and she's hooking. Probably that's all she has for skimpy clothes to wear. And she didn't look good at all, really. Anyways, he made a joke like, what are you gonna do, chase me wearing those things? And she starts chasing him. He runs out of the store, and then he runs into this black woman in the parking lot that looks just as messed up as this other one. She's all hunched over, walking weird with crazy look in her eyes. And he's like, oh my God, I gotta get out of here. Friggin' Seattle, he says. Turns the corner, and there's a black guy laying in the alley, messed up on something. He just got his face right up above the ground on all fours. And he's asking him if he wants help, you know. You stay laying here, you're gonna get hit by a car or something. And he couldn't, so the guy on the ground laid down, started rolling around. So this guy was like, well, I'm out of here. So then the video clip ends. It's like all three of these happen like within a minute, minute and a half, 2 minutes. Crazy. What a life, huh? And seems like everything these Democrats touch goes to crap. Anyways, I'm gonna head on up the hill. Whew. Well, we saw the deer, so that's good. As soon as it gets dark here, I'll swap around to the other lens and setting. Might do that at the top of this hill, and it'll look kind of like a bluish color for you for a little while until it gets dark. All right. Get up over the hump here. It's amazing to me how that hill used to have me sucking wind when I got to the top, and now it's not like that. Oh, I see a dog's tail up ahead. I hope he's tethered. That's the one that barks at me a lot when he's out, and he will today. Let's see what happens. What's he gonna do? Ooh, I'm sweating pretty good. There he is. He's barking at me. Looks like a big dog. Bug hit me in the face. I hate bugs. That's what they do. Yeah, I get it. I get it. You can stop barking now. I think we'll take this opportunity, swap over. Okie day. There we are now with the super view setting for nighttime. I actually kind of like it. You can see more of what I'm looking at for a vista. And yes, when we go by telephone poles, they look like they're bent like a horseshoe. That's okay. I like it. What is this? Got a metal tin box. Will it open? Nothing in it. I'm just being nosy. All right. Alrighty. So, something I wanted to discuss, kind of important, I think. We have to debate this week, tomorrow night actually, and the reason why I bring that up is I'm not going to talk so much about the debate itself. I did yesterday, but what happened today? Wow. President Trump had posted on his Truth Social profile page a couple days ago, 3 days ago. It was either Thursday or Friday. Well, it might have been 5 days ago. Of a Rasmussen poll. I had mentioned it on one of my walks, where they had Trump up 63% to 30-something% for Biden. Really terrible numbers for Biden. And a lot of people online, including the pundits, were like, well, it's Rasmussen, it's conservative, sort of, which they're not really. And, you know, they're cheating for Donald Trump. Okay. Well, 3 more polls came out today. All of them have Trump winning the election with 66%, 65%, and I think one was 63%. And one of them was the very notable 538 to win. Not 270 to win, but 538, which is an analytics and pollster. Very professional. A lot of the media relies on his polls. The liberal media is kind of like iffy on him. They like to use Ipsos and what have you. But an Ipsos poll just came out saying Trump has a 60+% chance of winning the election too. The new polling just came out in the battleground states, and Trump has surged ahead of Biden in all of the battleground states. Wisconsin, Minnesota, he's ahead of Biden. That's it, you know. And right now he's poised to have an electoral college landslide if these numbers hold between now and the election, pending things happening that we don't know about. And what I'm getting to is a lot of the big check marks on Facebook and Twitter and places like that are trying to say that Democrats are coercing the media because they don't want Biden for a candidate, and if the numbers are really bad with polling, and they expect that the numbers are not going to change with the debate this week, that they are preemptively trying to pressure Biden to resign. Not resign from the presidency, but resign from being the candidate. Because you got till the end of July to do that, basically. The Republican National Committee convention is July 11th or 15th. Trump's sentencing is July 11th. So the Democrats also have the DNC and Democratic National Committee. They're going to decide officially who their candidate is. They cannot force Biden to resign. They cannot put somebody in his place. So they might be able to put somebody in his place, but that would be very damaging to the Democratic Party and the voters. They would not be happy with that, which is understandable. Your guy's in there and he's not doing well. You know, your own party forces them out. That's not good. That's why you're not going to see the Republicans do that with Trump, because Trump is raising record money right now. The Democrats are talking about it. Some of the big-time Biden donors have been getting a little stingy. They don't want to donate to Biden. So they're losing money. Trump raised more money than Biden did. But, what the hell's this? But make no mistake, the Democrats are not going to have a difficult time raising the money needed, okay? We know that. Last election, Zuckerberg coughed up 330-something million to pay for basically election services in inner cities. Ballot harvesting, that's what he paid for, with Zuckerbucks they were called. That needs to be illegal. I don't think anybody's done anything about it. And so I suspect they will be doing stuff like that again. They're going to have more of a difficult time this time, however. They're not going to have a pandemic. At least we hope not. Because if we do, then things have gone really south pretty quickly. They tried their little bird flu scare. Nobody's paying attention to that stuff anymore. And new report just came out this week, finally, telling us what we already knew about the COVID vaccines and long COVID. Because the argument with them has always been, I'll get back to the election in a minute. The argument with them is always like, some people had long COVID before there was a vaccine. How do you explain that? Well, that's because most of those people were immunocompromised people. People that had immune deficiencies. And so you get COVID and it doesn't want to leave. You can't get rid of it. Your immune system has a hard time fighting it. So that comes from people recovering from chemotherapy. Their immune system has been damaged by chemotherapy and things like that. So some relatively healthy people did end up getting COVID and ending up with long COVID. So nobody's really denying that. But what they're saying is that 75% of the people with long COVID now is a result of the vaccines and boosters specifically. they have spike protein all through their body, and your body can't get rid of it, and it causes inflammation. And your immune system is constantly fighting it. And when people are diagnosed with cancer, one of the problems they have as symptoms is they're really tired, they don't have any energy, because their immune system's fighting cancer, and it drains the hell out of you. So that's what happens with that, and that's what's happening with the vaccines. Not with everybody, and you can detox. It takes some time, but Dr. McCullough was talking about 3 different easily found things. I forget what they're called. One of them is curcumin. He treats his patients with that. He's a board-certified doctor. He's also in the Journal of Medicine. Very well respected until COVID came along and the media decided to defame him because he wasn't going along with the BS. And so he's helping people out. You just got to detox, get the spike protein out of you, and allows your immune system to gain on it. And he said, you know, nobody's really doing any studies on it. He goes, I'm just going from my professional experience and opinion about what I know medically. I know those 3 things are helpful in some people with long COVID. So he's not promising like a cure, but he said the government spent hundreds of millions of dollars studying long COVID and COVID in general, and they found no correlation between anything. And he said that's because they weren't looking at what the vaccines were doing. They ignored it because that's, you know, well, we got a vaccine, so it's safe and effective. So anyway, back to the election thing. They want to, a lot of people are suspecting that they're fluffing the polls in Trump's favor. So if Biden has a really terrible debate, which he just might, that they are going to try to coerce him into resigning. They're going to explain to him honestly, probably behind the scenes, nobody will ever see it. Now look, you're just not going to win. This hurts the party, it hurts the country, it hurts our agenda. And they'll probably politely ask his wife, Jill, who makes those decisions, to bow out. So, a lot of people, including some Democrats, think that's what's going to happen. Personally, I don't think Joe's going to do that. It would be a stain on his legacy, if he even has one. And he'll be admitting that he's too old to be president, which he is. And what I mean by that is it's not a physical thing, it's mental age. There are people that are 90 years old, still sharp as a damn tack. Okay, so it's not a direct age-related number, okay? It's mental age, mental acuity. He has shown signs of obvious mental decline. And he could be standing next to 10 other people his same age, and most of those will be sharp as a tack, and he's just one of those that isn't. And you also have to remember, he's had 2 brain aneurysms with blood clots. Had to have brain surgery on him. They had to open up his skull and fix it. So he may have some brain damage. I don't think they're ever going to tell us that, but it sure would explain a lot. He's also foul-mouthed, angry, short-tempered, all the signs you get with dementia. So it is what it is. I mean, that's what we got. He needs to come out, either by losing or his own party taking him out, whatever. Problem is this Trump. That's going to pressure them into talking him into resigning, in my opinion, because they don't want Trump to be president. And right now, clearly, despite all the lawfare and all the BS that they tried to pull, Trump is set to win this election. And I think they're panicking. They really don't know what to do. So they're going to have to do something. Time's running out. It's already the end of June. We got July, August, September, October. We got 4 months and about a week. 4 months and a week till the election. It's not much time, because you figure you got to get a new candidate if you're going to have one. What are you going to do with Kamala Harris? She's not going to be president, because Biden's going to stay president until January 20th, when they swear in a new one. So they're going to have to pick a new candidate while they have a sitting president. Sounds crazy, doesn't it? They could bite the bullet and, well, here's the thing, okay, what do you do to the black population if you tell them, okay, well, Biden's resigning, but we don't want Kamala to be president? Now, not because she's black, but because she's a moron. I mean, they can't say that, but that's the truth of it. Nobody wants her as president. They used her for the black vote, which is why Biden didn't really win, because black people don't like her. She's not African American, for one thing. Her relatives come from Jamaica. And how they got to Jamaica, who knows? They might have come there from Africa, but I don't think so. Anyway, technically she's black. Black American. Fine, beautiful. I love black people. I got no issues with anything. Point is, she's a friggin' moron, okay? And so, when she was the district attorney, she screwed the mayor of San Francisco, Willie Brown, and she schmoozed her way up the chain, okay? We'll say that politely. So anyways, that being said, what the hell's going to happen? I can't tell you. I cannot tell you what is going to happen, because nobody knows. We've never seen this before. We've seen a lot of crazy stuff happen. We've seen presidents assassinated. We've seen presidents... we've seen a president and vice president from two different parties because of an electoral college snafu in the 1800s. So, you know, and actually the vice president and president, they hated each other politically. They fought against each other their whole career. But they respected each other as people. You know, things were different then. We didn't have lawfare and prosecuting people's kids and all that stuff going on. So, right now, today, it's down, dirty, dog, nasty politics of the worst we have ever seen, because of the reach of the media and technology with social media. And it's ugly. Ugly with two G's. Like heavy duty ugly. Maybe even UH-GGLEE. Ugly. So, what do I think is going to happen? I think their decision is going to be based on what happens with the debate this week, tomorrow night. I think Biden's tactic is he's going to try to get Trump upset. He's going to try to get Trump to want to be belligerent. They're going to talk about J6. They're going to talk about Trump wanting to pardon J6 prisoners, which he has said he wants to do. But the thing is, I think a lot of the country doesn't mind that. They know this was politics and it was wrong. Polling has shown that. So I think they're in a tough spot. They're going to want to talk about anything except the economy. And if Trump was smart, he would just be presidential and do that. They try to goad him with January 6th or this and that, and then he'll say, yeah, I'd like to take the time to answer all of that, but that's already been covered. It's old news at this point. What I'd like to talk about is the economy, because supposedly they're going to be controlling the microphones of both candidates. And they can't shut Trump's mic off and then not shut Biden's off. So I think that would be the smart thing for Trump to do. But on the other hand, he has a right to be damn pissed off about what they've done to him. And he's only a human being. But at the end of the day, that debate tomorrow night is not going to change any poll numbers if Biden has an okay night. If Biden has a really good night, the media is going to say it's the best debate ever by any Democrat. They did that with the State of the Union. It didn't help Biden's numbers at all. In fact, his numbers now are worse than they've ever been. So it's all on Biden tomorrow night. All on Biden. And like I said, pretty much anybody that's on the fence, it might affect them tomorrow night, but I think, maybe something will happen during the debate. Maybe Biden will fall down. Maybe he'll trip and fall. And he's not going to have his helper on stage with him like he does when he goes out and about. And he wears those special sneakers, orthopedic sneakers that he had made. They look black. They try to make them look like they're black dress shoes, but they're sneakers, you can tell. And they're made so his biggest problem isn't going downstairs. His problem is stepping up over things, which is a neurological thing caused by brain connections not working properly from dementia. That's what happens. It's like my dad, when he got to a certain point, he'd be standing there with a walker. He would just fall backwards right in the hallway, right on his back, walker and everything. He just could not stand up. That brain function was gone. And Biden is starting to decline like that. It's not going to be long before Biden's on his deathbed. For men, typically, for the most part, if you don't show any signs at his age, you can make it to 90, 94. But virtually all men between 80 and 86, that's it, they're finished. And we have an electric car behind me that I can't hear. I freaking hate that. I hate that. Actually, it's not. It's a little 4-cylinder. Quiet putt-putt. Wow. You can almost hear the freaking rubber band inside unwinding. As my brother Jim would say. And, whew, my eyebrows are wet. So, tomorrow night, the pressure's all on Biden. You know, if Trump is up there and he's belligerent and, well, people expected that. And they know that about him, and he's still polling well. So, what he should do is look at the poll numbers he has and just freaking relax. The pressure is not on him. In 2016, the pressure was on Trump. In 2020, because of COVID and the pandemic, the pressure was on Trump. And Biden was a little more sharper than he is now. I was watching some of that debate footage from then, and I just cannot picture Biden even coming close to what he did at the 2020 debate. I don't care what drugs they put him on. It's not going to work. If they put him on speed, he's going to come off as hyper, gets angry, He's going to start pointing with his finger, and that angry face he makes is going to look like he did for that other thing he did where he looked like a friggin' dictator. So Trump needs to play it cool, be sharp, and get his points across. But don't be combative and argument and insulting Biden. And kind of funny because I saw a Babylon Bee article. I love the Babylon Bee. The article was that Trump goes to a nursing home to argue with dementia patients to practice for the debate. I couldn't stop laughing. It's so funny. So we'll watch tomorrow night. Biden's been practicing this week. According to reports I've seen, Trump has just been getting news briefings and he hasn't been practicing for the debate. He's not been practicing, from what I heard. So I don't think he's very worried about it. He's had bigger things to worry about. Biden is going to have to shake off a problem that incumbents usually have, is rust, debate rust. He's had a whole bunch of yes men around him for 4 years telling him he's awesome. And now he's going to have to stand up there in front of the country, which is anticipated to have big ratings. And the only reason why, typically debates have ratings, but this one's going to have big ratings because they're not watching to see what Trump does this time. Last time it was like, oh, we got to see what Trump does. Everybody knows what Trump's going to do this time. They're watching to see if Biden really is as bad as we think he is. So they're going to try to deflect by throwing January 6th at Trump, try to get Trump upset so Trump ends up talking all night instead of talking about what's wrong with the country, like the border, things like that. Trump can't fall for that. He needs to talk about the border. He needs to talk about the economy. He needs to talk about people that have been killed by illegals. We've had a rash of them lately. And, he needs to talk about the gun violence. So we'll see what happens. Should be interesting. Either way, I think Trump will do well regardless. Biden, if he does well, it's because he really put an effort in to do well. Really rehearsed, and they get the right drug mix, and so. Anyways, hope you're having a nice week. Beautiful night to walk tonight. Very mild. Whew. Sure the lens is clean. There we go. helicopter up there. A chopper. Get to the chopper. This is Russell Park Manor Rehabilitation Living Center, aka the old folks home. Old folks homes, they're not so bad. They're really not. I mean, my mother was in one for a little while. My dad was in one for 2.5 years before he passed. It's the real problem is you know, like the older guy I saw there that was an airborne ranger, was in the Korean War. He had a stroke and he just could not do the things for himself that he used to do, and it really got to him, really bothered him. And that's completely understandable. That's normal. That's a normal feeling to feel like that. And so the real thing that people don't like about nursing homes is it means you're at the end of the road, you know, and that's part of the life cycle. Now, there was a guy that was in the nursing home, had his wits about him, really sharp guy. He used to work for the airline industry. He was a mechanic, and he was a valuable person, and I would talk with him every day when I went in there, because I went and saw my dad every day he was in there for 2.5 years. I did. I really did. I'm not just saying that. It was something important to him and to me as well. I watched the Boston Bruins win the Stanley Cup with him, even though he didn't really know what was going on, but that would have been one of the most exciting things in his life. So I spent time with him, and I got to talk to a lot of people that came through the turnstiles there. And I say that because sometimes somebody would be there for 2 months and they would die. Or they'd be there for a year and they would die. When my dad went in there, at least 24 of the people that were in there within 2 years passed away. So when you get to that point, it's one of those things where it's a natural life cycle. You're at the end of your lifespan. Perfectly normal. I'm sure it's not fun. I'm going to experience that myself. And but this guy I was talking to that was a mechanic was like, he goes, I've made peace with God. I pray every day. He goes, I'm ready. He goes, I'm not scared at all. And he had terminal colon cancer and knew he was going to pass. And he was okay with it. And he really was, legitimately. It wasn't just something he was doing to try to make himself feel good about his situation. He was, you could tell he was sincere. He was honest about it. Said he understands people just live so long. He goes, I'm 90 years old. He goes, I understand. He goes, when you get to that certain point, it's like you realize that's it. And a lot of your life you spend, well, I don't want to get this. I don't want to get that. I'm afraid this will happen. I'm afraid that'll happen. But then when it happens, you got it to deal with. Can't ignore it. And I know that's easier said than done from my point of view. But realistically, I could have a heart attack and die tomorrow. I could get diagnosed with some kind of cancer, or anything could happen. Might need open heart surgery. You just really don't know what's going to happen. So I try to keep my mind open to that. And if something bad happens, it's not going to be a fun experience. I want to act like I'm not going to be scared. Those are normal reactions, I guess is what I'm saying. So I don't know if this is relating to anybody. It's just me talking amongst myself, really, which is often what I feel like when I'm walking. I feel like I'm saying things to myself or anybody that cares enough. And so life is short, and don't be upset when it's over, because it's no different for anybody. You know, Bill Gates, one of the richest men in the world, is going to have an end. All of these people will. You're all equal in God's eyes, and that's why a lot of these people are really not good people. Some of them are. But at the end of the day, nothing you have here is going with you. Nothing. Zippo. I'm going to leave with the same thing Bill Gates leaves with, all right? He's just going to have a better looking mausoleum for his ashes or whatever is left behind. And that don't matter a hoot worth of spit either, if I'm honest about it. And the more I think about it, the more having my body pickled and preserved in a friggin' steel box buried in the ground isn't really very appealing to me. I would not mind being cremated. In fact, what I would love if I had a lot of money is I would have my ashes jettisoned into space. Either haven't decided if it would be like having the urn opened and the ashes just sent out free nilly-willy into space. Ashes to ashes, cosmic dust to cosmic dust. Or just keeping the urn sealed and just sending it out somewhere. Because I've often said all through my entire life, and it's never changed, heaven for me would be able to fly through space and see what's out there. I would love to see what's out there. Personally, what it looks like. But sadly, I'm never going to see that. And they're just starting to do passenger orbital planned flights. And it costs a lot of money for people to do that. Very expensive. Someday it might be cheap, but I'll be long gone by then. So, something I was reading about today is SpaceX, Elon Musk's space company, has been working on an orbital retrieval device, which they say is just about functioning. And it will be ready by 2030, when the operational lifespan of the International Space Station has expired. He's came up with this system so you could go up with it and retrieve stuff from space and bring it back piece by piece. Because a lot of people don't understand how much space debris there is up there. Hundreds of satellites at this point, all in different orbits. And if you ever watch that movie Gravity, it's supposedly what could happen if you have a debris storm because of a couple satellites colliding. The debris from that hits another satellite, and then it ends up cascading into a big storm of debris traveling thousands of miles per hour in orbit. It could theoretically destroy everything that's in space. Would have no communications, no anything. So, and that came about because the Chinese actually, years ago, did a test where they wanted to see what would happen if you took out a satellite. Well, they found out it caused a lot of damage internationally, okay? And it actually caused the satellite to fall out of the sky out in the desert in Australia somewhere, thankfully. But point being, it can cause a lot of problems. Really good movie too, by the way. And yes, it had Sandra Bullock and George Clooney in it. I really can't stand either one as people, but the movie was actually very good. I saw it in the theater. I thought it was great. Also saw another space movie with Brad Pitt, and Sean Connery was in it towards the end of his life. He was old, but he had kind of a small part at the end of it. He played Brad Pitt's father. And so anyway, the movie was about Brad Pitt going out, flying across the universe in the future, obviously. That was also a very good movie. So, worth a watch. So anyways, boy, this grass here is getting tall. Nobody's cutting this grass. Nobody's cutting it. All right. Just hit 4 miles. 4 miles at the church. Ooh. Yep, I'm soaked with sweat. My arms are wet. My eyebrows are wet. My nose and my cheeks are wet. My back is wet. Get back to the house, I'm gonna suck down some liquids. Liquids. Oh yeah. Alrighty. Thinking about going to fireworks this year with this camera setting, maybe a different lens setting, just regular widescreen instead of super view, because I won't be walking. Then I can just hold it steady and it should be fine. But I think the fireworks would look pretty cool. I won't mount it on my head because when you're around people in public, you could get a snatch and grab. People snatch it off your head. So I want to hold it in my hand on kind of like maybe a selfie stick kind of thing. Something telescoping perhaps. Something like that. But that might be pretty cool, maybe. Also want to go to the balloon festival in August. See what's going on during that. Watch some hot air balloons take off. That might be interesting. one of those things where you go, yeah, go check that out. Hopefully there won't be any mass shootings. It could happen, you know. They have that every year, and so a lot of people go to it. So at least I would be a good guy there. Probably some other people. But my younger brother says, who also mentioned that he feels kind of undefended when he's out of state because he can't carry anything. But he's basically saying you don't want to live in fear either. That's what they want you to do. Don't live in fear. I'm pretty happy I saw that deer. I really am. Pretty cool, pretty cool. So we're gonna have a couple of cool gun reviews coming up for the Walther Colt 1911 22. I know I've been talking about it, but we're gonna have a look at it and we'll have a shooting video. And also we're gonna have the Henry Homesteader 9mm carbine, which is a pretty hot ticket item. A lot of people are really talking about that thing. And I have my Ruger PC9 9mm carbine, which is an excellent, excellent firearm. Excellent. And so that should be interesting to see coming up on Le Channel. I also want to do kind of like a combination Magtech steel case ammo review for 9mm, since you can get that so cheap right now. It's literally about 23 cents, 22 to 23 cents a round you can find it for. 9mm hasn't been that cheap in a while. So actually, you can find it, cheapest I've seen it is about $10.99 a box, 50 rounds. Yep. $10.99, that's right. It's usually about $11.99, some places online. Pretty damn cheap. We just got a 1,000 round case, $233. That's pretty cheap. Whew. All right. So, you know, tonight it feels like a little more effort to do my walk. I had told you on the last walk last night that I had been walking every day. We had 2 days with bad weather, 7, and I took 2 days off from walking. I walked 5 days, and I was fresh, nice and fresh. Now right now I'm feeling a little fatigued towards the end of the walk, and I've been walking every day for a few days now. So tomorrow night we got the debate. I think what I'll do is I'll take tomorrow off from walking and go for my walk Friday. We'll go shooting Saturday. Might go for my walk after we go shooting. And I might go for a walk Sunday. So I should take the day off tomorrow from walking, I think. Yep, so yeah, we're around the corner from where that deer was when we started on the walk. And I'm pretty happy that we saw that, because that told me the deer was just fine. It might be that young teenager kind of age for the deer, or it's time for the deer to be a deer, and Mama left it there to fend. But we got deer going through there all the time when that deer was, and that deer was hanging out waiting for more deer, because as soon as it heard me, it came out of the woods. It wanted to see if that was Mama that came back. I'm sure of it. So kind of breaks your little heart when you think about it. But that deer will definitely run into other deer there, for sure. That's just the way it goes. Yep, it was just sitting out in that field last night waiting. That's what it was doing. And it was there again tonight. I don't know how long it's going to hang around. But anyway, it's in a safe place. I got a nice refuge out in Thorn Crag here. There's all kinds of deer food to eat right now. And by the time winter comes, that deer will be much bigger. Probably would team up with other ones. And it'll be fine. I'm just glad it wasn't injured. It was obviously not injured. It was pretty spriteful, actually. It was pretty spry. All right. I'm anticipating this battery life ending sooner. But last night's walk was a full night walk. Full 5+ miles, and I still had over 30% of the battery when I got back. So started out this walk on a setting that used more juice, so I might cut it close. So I'll say thank you for watching now, in case it turns off. Click like and subscribe. Share the content. There will be new firearm content coming up, for sure. Hope you enjoy that. Should be interesting. Pretty cool stuff. And thank you very much for watching. Now we'll just walk out the rest of this walk, and if it ends, I'll be satisfied. Whew, definitely gonna take a nice hot shower when I get back. Couple of kids walking their dogs. They let me go by. They held their dogs back, so that was nice. That's good. Animal owners are familiar with their animals. One of them was kind of a German Shepherd looking dog. Those can be very protective of kids, which is good. Whew, I am soaked. Soaked. It's funny listening to my breathing when I walk like that. That sounds just like my Resident Evil 4 video game, which is a point of view game and kind of a shooter game. And it's the same view that you have here, and you can hear that same breathing. It sounds just like it. It's pretty cool, actually. right. Wow, very humid tonight. We'll probably get some pretty good thunderstorms tomorrow or this weekend. Now, originally we had a forecast for rain Saturday, but it looks like they changed it, which is good. That means we won't be hampered by it. And it should be fun to be had. All right, we'll get up to the corner here. I'll begin my goodbyes. Guess the battery made it, even though technically I said goodbye already. Thank you very much for watching, everybody. Hope you enjoyed it. And I hope you enjoy my walks. Have no idea how many people do. I get a couple of comments once in a while, which is nice. And analytics say very, very few people watch all the way through, which is understandable, and a lot of people skip around through it, which is fine. But anyways, thank you, everybody. Bye-bye. Thanks for watching. Ciao. Be safe, be happy, be merry, be Larry. Ciao, ciao.